Catherine Earnshaw was a shadow of the fiery girl she once was. Her laughter, once echoing through the moors, had faded into silence. Her eyes no longer sparkled with mischief. The strong, rebellious soul was now locked in a room, slowly fading, not just from illness, but from a broken heart. She had married Edgar Linton for his calm, his wealth, and his affection, but none of it had replaced the wildness she had shared with Heathcliff. In truth, she had betrayed them both, and now she was paying the price. Inside Thrushcross Grange, Catherine lay pale and weak against her pillows. The doctors whispered of fever. The servants murmured about her refusing food, but they didn't understand. She wasn't just sick, she was dying of love. Each night, she stared at the window, waiting, and then he came. The door burst open one stormy evening, and there he was, Heathcliff, not the boy she once knew, nor the cruel man who had returned from exile, but something in between. His eyes were wild with pain, his coat soaked with rain, his lips trembling with words he had waited years to speak. He stepped forward, slowly, as if afraid she would vanish. She turned her head toward him. "You've come," she whispered. "I thought I dreamt you." He took her hand, rough and shaking. "Why did you destroy us, Catherine?" he asked, his voice raw. "Why did you marry him?" Tears welled in her eyes, but she didn't look away. "You left me, Heathcliff. You disappeared. What was I supposed to do? I was lonely and weak, but I never stopped loving you, not for a single moment." He clenched her hand tighter. "And I loved you. I still do. More than life, more than my soul." She coughed, her body shaking. He reached for her, held her close, felt her warmth slipping. "I am Heathcliff," she gasped. "You are in my soul. I cannot live without my soul." He broke. He cried finally, tears streaming, silent and desperate. "If you die, Catherine," he said, "I will be haunted forever. I will never know peace." She smiled faintly. "Then I will haunt you. I will never leave you." They kissed slowly, painfully, knowing it was the first and the last. Outside, the storm howled. Inside, a heart stopped beating. Catherine Linton gave birth that night to a baby girl, Cathy. She lived just long enough to see her child's face, and then she was gone. The funeral was silent, somber, and cold. Edgar mourned with dignity. Isabella watched from afar. And Heathcliff, he stood alone beside her grave. "Be with me always," he whispered. "Take any shape, only don't leave me in this darkness alone." His love had destroyed everything. Catherine, himself, the home they once shared. But something darker was now taking root inside him. He turned from her grave, with eyes that no longer belonged to a man in love. They belonged to a man seeking revenge. Catherine is gone, but her spirit still lingers. In the house, in the moors, and most of all, in Heathcliff's broken heart. Catherine was gone, buried beneath cold earth and wild heather. But not from Heathcliff's soul. No, she lived within him, a ghost with a heartbeat. Every shadow whispered her name. Every gust of wind felt like her breath. "I cannot live without my soul." That's what he had said, and he meant it. In the silence that followed her death, Heathcliff did not cry. He roamed the moors like a phantom, eyes wild, coat tattered by wind and rain. Love had not died. It had transformed into obsession, into wrath. At Wuthering Heights, Hindley Earnshaw had collapsed into ruin. His gambling and drunken rages left the house crumbling, like the man himself. Heathcliff, now wealthy, returned not as a servant, but as a master. He offered Hindley money, but it was poison wrapped in kindness. "I'll help you, brother," Heathcliff whispered. "Sign here, and leave the rest to me." And Hindley did. In the flicker of a candle and the scratch of a pen, Heathcliff claimed the house. Isabella Linton, now his wife in name only, soon learned what love meant to Heathcliff. He did not hold her. He did not speak to her softly. He burned her with silence, broke her with cruelty. "I married a monster," she sobbed, "not a man." Pregnant and trapped, she wandered the halls like a shadow herself, haunted by love gone wrong, until one night, in the dead of winter, she ran. She fled across the moors, carrying both her fear and his child. But across the hills, at Thrushcross Grange, a light still burned. Catherine's daughter, young Cathy, was growing up. With her mother's fire in her heart and her father's gentleness in her soul, she was curious, bold, and innocent of the pain behind her name. She loved books, music, and stories of adventure. She dreamed of the world beyond the gates. But no one told her of Heathcliff. No one told her what waited at Wuthering Heights. Years passed, and Heathcliff changed. He controlled Wuthering Heights like a cold king on a crumbling throne. Hindley died in misery, broken and alone, and Heathcliff took his son, Hareton, as his own. But not out of love, out of revenge. He denied the boy education. He raised him rough, like a servant, the way he once was. "Let him suffer," he muttered. "Let him become like me." He twisted the next generation into pawns in his unfinished war with the past. But sometimes, just sometimes, when the wind howled across the moors, Heathcliff would stop in the hall. He'd look at the empty chair, the door that never opened, and whisper, "Catherine, haunt me. Come back. I would rather see you as a ghost than not at all." In Heathcliff's world, love never truly died. It rotted, beautifully, painfully, into obsession. And in the shadow of Wuthering Heights, the storm had only just begun.